Did you know that according to research from Stanford University, students with a growth mindset who believe their abilities can be developed outperform those with a fixed mindset by over 30%? Or that optimistic salespeople outsell their pessimistic counterparts by 56%? Or that people with positive mindsets live on average 7.5 years longer than those with negative outlooks? These aren't just random statistics. They represent a fundamental truth that most people never fully grasp. Your mindset isn't just one factor in your success and happiness. It's the foundation everything else is built upon. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to transform your mindset from one that holds you back to one that propels you forward. Not with empty motivational quotes or generic advice, but with practical, proven strategies that have changed thousands of lives, including my own. What exactly is a positive mindset? Let me be clear about what it is not. It's not pretending everything is perfect when it isn't. It's not ignoring problems or challenges. And it's definitely not just thinking happy thoughts while your life falls apart around you. A true positive mindset is about how you interpret and respond to what happens in your life. It's about seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. It's about finding lessons in failures instead of just feeling defeated. It's about taking responsibility instead of placing blame. Your mindset is like the operating system of your brain. You can have all the right goals, all the right information, all the right opportunities, but if your operating system is corrupted with negative thinking patterns, nothing will work properly. I've seen this play out countless times. Two people face the same setback. One spirals into depression and gives up, while the other uses it as fuel to come back stronger. The difference wasn't in their circumstances, it was in their mindset. Today, I want to help you install that success operating system in your brain, because when you get your mindset right, everything else becomes possible. Before we can build a positive mindset, we need to identify the negative thought patterns that are currently sabotaging your success and happiness. These mental traps are so common that most people don't even realize they're caught in them. The first trap is what psychologists call catastrophizing, assuming the worst possible outcome in any situation. Your boss wants to speak with you, and immediately you think you're getting fired. You make a small mistake and you convince yourself your entire career is ruined. This pattern trains your brain to live in a constant state of anxiety and fear. The second trap is personalizing, making everything about you, usually in a negative way. Someone doesn't respond to your text, they must be mad at you. A project fails at work, it must be entirely your fault. This pattern prevents you from seeing situations objectively and keeps you in a state of self-blame. The third trap is black and white thinking, seeing everything as either perfect or terrible with no middle ground. You're either a complete success or a total failure. Your day was either amazing or awful. This pattern sets impossible standards that guarantee disappointment. The fourth trap is negative filtering, focusing exclusively on what's wrong while filtering out what's right. You receive 10 compliments and 1 criticism, and all you can think about is the criticism. This pattern ensures you never feel satisfied or grateful for what's going right. The fifth trap is permanence thinking, believing that negative situations or feelings will last forever. You think, I'll never get promoted, I'll always be alone, or I'll never achieve my goals. This pattern robs you of hope and the motivation to keep trying. Let me ask you, how many of these patterns do you recognize in yourself? If you're like most people, you probably see at least 2 or 3. And that's normal. We aren't born knowing how to think optimally. These patterns develop over time, often from childhood experiences or past disappointments. But here's what you need to understand. These thought patterns aren't facts. They're habits. And like any habit, they can be changed with the right approach and consistent practice. Now that we've identified the problem, let's talk about the solutions, practical techniques to transform your mindset from negative to positive. Technique 1, thought awareness and reframing. The first step to changing any thought pattern is becoming aware of it. You can't change what you don't notice. Start keeping a thought journal. When you notice yourself feeling anxious, sad, or frustrated, write down exactly what you were thinking. Then challenge these thoughts using evidence. For example, if you think, I always mess everything up, ask yourself, is that really true? Have I succeeded at anything in the past? What's the evidence for and against this belief? Finally, reframe the thought into something more realistic and empowering. Instead of, I always mess everything up, try, I've made mistakes just like everyone else, but I've also had successes and I can learn from both. This process, awareness, challenge, reframe, is the foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy, one of the most scientifically validated psychological approaches for changing thought patterns. Technique 2, the gratitude practice. Gratitude is one of the most powerful mindset shifts available to us. When you're feeling negative, your brain is typically focused on what you lack or what's going wrong. Gratitude forcibly redirects your attention to what you have and what's going right. Start each morning by writing down 3 specific things you're grateful for and why. Not just my family, but the way my partner made me laugh last night when I was stressed about work. The more specific, the more powerful the effect. Studies show that after just 21 days of this practice, your brain actually starts scanning your environment for positives instead of negatives. It becomes a habit, a new default setting in your mental operating system. Technique 3, the success journal. Our brains have a built-in negativity bias. We tend to remember failures more vividly than successes. This bias served our ancestors well. Remembering dangers was more important for survival than remembering pleasures. But it doesn't serve us well in modern life. To counteract this, keep a success journal. Every evening, write down 3 things, big or small, that went well that day and what role you played in making them happen. This builds your confidence by creating an accurate record of your capabilities that you can review whenever you're feeling doubtful. Technique 4, visualization and mental rehearsal. Elite athletes have used visualization for decades to improve performance. The technique works because your brain doesn't fully distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. When you vividly imagine success, you're essentially programming your brain to expect it. Spend 5-10 minutes each day visualizing yourself succeeding at your most important goals. Use all your senses. What do you see, hear, feel? Imagine the satisfaction, the pride, the sense of accomplishment. Make it as real as possible. This isn't just positive thinking, it's mental rehearsal that prepares your brain for success and reduces the fear of failure. Technique 5, the growth mindset question. Whenever you face a setback or challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This simple question transforms obstacles from things that happen to you into things that happen for you. This is the essence of what Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck calls the growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. With a growth mindset, challenges become opportunities to grow, rather than threats to your self-position. Technique 6, environment design. Your mindset is heavily influenced by your environment, the people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the physical spaces you occupy. Audit these areas of your life. Are you surrounding yourself with negative people who reinforce limiting beliefs? Are you consuming news and social media that trigger anxiety and inadequacy? Is your physical space cluttered and chaotic? Make strategic changes. Seek out positive, growth-oriented people. Consume media that educates and inspires rather than frightens or enrages. Create physical spaces that promote calm and focus. Your environment shapes your thoughts more than you realize. Design it intentionally. Technique 7, physical practices for mental strength. Your mind and body are connected. Physical practice can have powerful effects on your mental state and thought patterns. Regular exercise releases endorphins and other neurochemicals that naturally elevate mood and cognition. Meditation builds the brain's capacity for focus and emotional regulation. Proper sleep allows your brain to process emotions and consolidate learning. Don't underestimate these physical foundations of mental strength. A positive mindset is much harder to maintain when you're exhausted, sedentary, or physically depleted. Climax/key moment. Let me share a story that demonstrates the transformative power of mindset. 2 years ago, I met Michael, a client who had just been laid off from his job of 15 years. At 47, he was convinced his career was over. Who's going to hire someone my age? He kept asking. I'm too old to start over. I've wasted my life. Michael was trapped in all 5 negative thought patterns we discussed earlier. He was catastrophizing about his future, personalizing the layoff as a reflection of his worth, thinking in black and white terms about his career, filtering out all his past successes, and seeing his unemployment as a permanent condition. We started working on his mindset using the techniques I've shared with you today. At first, he was skeptical, even resistant. My problem isn't my thinking, he insisted. My problem is that I'm unemployed. But gradually he began to shift. Through the thought awareness practice, he recognized how his catastrophic thinking was preventing him from taking action. Through gratitude, he reconnected with the skills, experiences, and relationships he'd built over 15 years. Through visualization, he began to see possibilities he'd been blind to before. The turning point came about 3 months in. I realized something, he told me. My job loss wasn't the end of my career, it was the end of a chapter that wasn't serving me anymore. With his new mindset, Michael approached his job search differently. Instead of desperately applying to positions identical to his old job, he reflected on what he truly wanted and what unique value he could offer. He reached out to his network with confidence rather than shame. He saw interviews as opportunities to find the right fit, not just trials to survive. 6 months after being laid off, Michael didn't just find a new job, he found a better one. Higher pay, more flexibility, and work that aligned more closely with his values. But more importantly, he found a new relationship with himself. I'm not the same person, he told me. Even if this job hadn't worked out, I would have been okay because I now know my worth isn't tied to my employment status. Michael's circumstances didn't change his mindset. His mindset changed his circumstances, and that's the power available to each of you watching right now. The situations you face in life are often beyond your control, but how you interpret and respond to those situations is entirely within your control, and that makes all the difference. We've covered a lot of ground today. Let's recap the key insights about transforming your life through a positive mindset. First, we identified the 5 negative thought patterns that sabotage success and happiness: catastrophizing, personalizing, black and white thinking, negative filtering, and permanence thinking. Recognizing these patterns when they appear is the first step to breaking free from them. Second, we explored 7 practical techniques for building a positive mindset: thought awareness and reframing to challenge negative beliefs, gratitude practice to focus on what's going right, success journaling to build confidence and counter negativity bias, visualization to program your brain for success, the growth mindset question to learn from challenges, environment design to support positive thinking, physical practices to strengthen mental resilience. Third, we saw through Michael's story how these techniques can create real transformation, not just in how you feel, but in the tangible results you achieve in your life. Remember, a positive mindset isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about approaching life's challenges with resilience, creativity, and a belief in your ability to grow. It's about seeing possibilities where others see only obstacles. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. Like any worthwhile change, it requires consistent practice and patience. There will be setbacks along the way. There will be days when negative thoughts seem overwhelming. That's not failure, it's part of the process. The key is to keep coming back to these practices, to be gentle with yourself when you stumble, and to celebrate your progress no matter how small it may seem. If you found value in today's video, there are 3 things I'd like you to do. First, commit to trying at least one of the techniques we discussed for the next 21 days. Research shows that's how long it takes to begin forming a new habit. Choose the one that resonated most with you and make it part of your daily routine. Second, share your experience in the comments below. What negative thought patterns do you struggle with most? Which technique are you committing to practice? Your share might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Remember, never give up on yourself. Your life can change dramatically when you change how you think about yourself and your possibilities. The mindset that got you here won't get you where you want to go, but the mindset we've discussed today will take you places you never thought possible. Thank you for watching. This is Alpha Resilience, and I believe in your potential to transform. See you in the next video.